Recipient Awards for members of the diaspora.
Yes, and the theme for this year's conference is Partnering for Growth. And more than 700 persons will be gathering in this room for the opening ceremony. We have delegates from the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada, and the Middle East, more specifically the United Arab Emirates.
And you know, Lorraine, we are especially pleased to welcome for the first time delegates from Japan and Nigeria.
Awesome.
The expectations are extremely high. There will be robust discussions throughout the proceeding of this event, and the next 3 days will take place at the Jamaica Conference Center in downtown Kingston. Now, some of the areas to be covered include investment opportunities, developments in healthcare in the private and public sectors, as well as the diversity in education and training programs.
So Theo, it promises to be an information-packed 3 days as the delegates, representatives of the government and the private sector explore ways in which greater partnerships can be forged between Jamaica and her diaspora.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know that the delegates are looking forward to attending the Jamaican Diaspora Conference, which is a biennial event, so every 2 years. In fact, the last event was in Montego Bay in 2015.
Right, so 2 years gives persons enough time to prepare for the next one. So we're hoping that those who are at home watching will be here when the next biennial diaspora conference is
2019.
staged. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So in case you're just joining us, we're coming to you live from the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston for the opening ceremony of the Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference.
Yes, the conference is being held at a time when Jamaicans are preparing to commemorate our 55th anniversary of independence. And the theme for that is celebrating Jamaicans at home and abroad. So everyone, all around. Now, the timing is particularly strategic as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade has invited our Jamaican brothers and sisters home, in particular, to participate in the independence and festival celebrations.
Give us a run through of some of those activities.
Well, since you asked, we have the Grand Gala.
Yes.
Everybody looks forward to
Yes.
that. There is the Standing Ovation concert. There's also the Gospel Song competition and also the Festival Queen competition. Now, these are just a few, not the entire roster, but all of this will be taking place at the National Arena and the National Stadium. Now, tomorrow morning, the Diaspora Conference will begin at the Jamaica Conference Center in downtown Kingston, and we will be there, the Jamaica Information Service, to bring you the presentations from the plenary sessions. But for now, we're just enjoying the sights and the sounds right here at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel Ballroom.
And please feel free to share the link to the stream on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on the JIS website, of course, at jis.gov.jm. So please feel free to share with your family and friends across Jamaica.
Definitely, definitely. The ballroom is buzzing with excitement.
Yes, it is.
And we know that all the people are coming in. They're being seated. A few minutes ago, the band was playing. That is the Jamaica Military Band, which is the oldest continuous service unit of the Jamaica Defense Force. And they played some songs like Buffalo Soldier just a few minutes ago. I believe.
All right, you know, we pause to recognize the arrival of Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness.
Absolutely.
He will be delivering the keynote address here this evening.
Yes, yes. And I think we are about to begin any minute now. And so we will go on to the mainstream. And so we here, please stay here with the Jamaica Information Service as we continue to stream the events, taking in the sights and the sounds as the speeches go on, as the delegates meet and listen to what we have planned for the Diaspora Conference. I'm Theodore Henry once again.
And I'm Lorraine Mendez. Keep watching.
Absolutely.
Delegates are busy catching up with friends and family members. We also pause to recognize Minister Olivia Grange, that's the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. She will also be bringing remarks.
Absolutely. Also ministers in the House, we have the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith. And she will have been engaging with a number of guests, but she also will be presenting during this afternoon's opening session.
Yes.
I believe we also expect to see the Mayor of Kingston, Councillor Delroy Williams, as he will extend a warm welcome from the city as we are here. And there is Dr. Julius Garvey. The
Please be seated. Bishop Everell Galbraith will now lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. God, who is from everlasting to everlasting, we praise you for your goodness and your graciousness. We acknowledge that you are the source and origin of all that is, visible and invisible. You are everywhere, and today we celebrate your presence with us and rejoice in the fact that you will never leave us or forsake us. Loving and caring God, persons from various countries are gathered here for this Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference. We thank you for bringing us here safely and are most grateful for your care and protection. Compassionate God, sometimes we are guilty of prejudice and discrimination against others. Our nation is weeping from various activities of criminality, corruption, injustice, and dehumanization. Lord, in your graciousness, speak to those who are prisoners to a spirit of malice, and hatred, envy, greed, and revenge. Forgive us, Lord. Cleanse us from all unrighteousness and enable us to help our fellow citizens to amend our ways and to live righteous and sober lives. as we assemble for this Diaspora Conference. We praise you for the accomplishments of the past and for all those who have been leading the diaspora movement over these years. In the sharing of information, in the deliberations, in the decision-making, enable all participants to have the insight to see where you are leading us as a country and as individuals. And grant us, O God, the courage to do your will. God, like Nehemiah and Joseph of ancient times, you continue to place your sons and daughters in positions of great power and influence, positions from which the impossible can become possible. Lord, stir the hearts and minds of the Nehemiahs of the 21st century to have a mind to hear the concerns of your people, to evaluate the expressed needs, and to work together to build a better, more progressive, and more prosperous nation, a Jamaica of which we can all be justly proud and your name be glorified. And so, Lord, Lord of all, pour out upon this conference your spirit of love, of wisdom, and understanding, so that your will for Jamaica will be realized. We pray this in the name of Jesus, your Son, our Lord and our Savior. Amen.
Your Excellencies, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, Governor General, and Most Honorable Lady Allen, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Peter Phillips, Leader of the Opposition, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the Most Honorable Professor Sir Kenneth Hall and the Most Honorable Lady Hall, Ministers of State, Bishop Everell Galbraith and Mrs. Galbraith, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, members of the Senate and the House of Representatives, permanent secretaries, Major General Rocky Meade, Chief of the Defense Staff, Mr. George Quayle, Commissioner of Police, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen all, a very special good evening to you. Today, we achieve another milestone in our history as we meet for the 7th time as the Jamaica Diaspora Conference against the theme of the 55th anniversary of the independence of Jamaica. The concept of a diaspora conference and the formal organization of the Jamaica Diaspora dates back to the year 2014. And today we are pleased to welcome you and all Diaspora Conference attendees to the Diaspora Conference 2017. The development of the Jamaican diaspora began in the early 19th century, with Jamaicans moving to Panama to build the railway between 1850 and 1855, and later the canal between 1880 and 1904. Migration outside of Jamaica continued for a long period, as there were no immigration laws until 1924, when the first set of immigration laws were passed in the United States of America. To that point, Jamaicans moved freely throughout the Commonwealth and within this hemisphere. Prior to 1924, many outstanding Jamaicans migrated to the United States and simply signed their names in the book at Ellis Island. People like Claude McKay, W.A. Domingo, and Marcus Garvey. They all joined the American society and became significant leaders of a movement for many years. The second wave of migration was between the period 1940 and 1960, where Jamaicans went abroad primarily as guest workers, from programs dating back to 1943 to the United States. And in 1948, we all remember the story of the HMS Windrush and the migration of Caribbeans and Jamaicans in particular to a little town in England called Tilbury. This was the start of a movement of Caribbean and Jamaican people to the UK. We all recall Louise Bennett's famous poem called Colonization in Reverse, where she wrote, "What a joyful noise, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust. Jamaican people colonizing England in reverse. By the hundreds and by the thousands, from country and town, by the shiploads and by the plane loads, Jamaica is England bound." The migrations of Jamaicans to the UK has changed England permanently, adding our strong work ethic, our respect for all races, our culture. I'm certain the Acting High Commissioner will agree with me that England is a better place for the arrivals of Jamaicans in 1948. The third phase of migration was the period of 1960 to the present, which saw the migration of skilled and diversified groups of Jamaicans. Today, these Jamaicans are found across Canada, the United States of America, the Cayman Islands. They are found in Dubai, in Qatar, in Japan, all providing skills and leadership and sharing the Jamaican culture wherever they go. The development of the Jamaican diaspora was in fact a result of a push and pull factor. The Jamaican economy was unable to satisfy the needs of the Jamaican people, restive people who yearn for personal growth and development. The push was the economy, and the pull was the job opportunities and the growth opportunities that presented itself for those who wanted to go to the diaspora. The slow economic growth for Jamaica has been a main cause of our outward migration. It is interesting to note that the national income for Jamaica between the years 1832 and 1930 was on average some 2.4%, forming the springboard for the drive to migrate from Jamaica. But when Jamaicans did migrate, they did well. Jamaicans were not burdened by insecurity of race. Jamaicans tended to have had a worldview. Jamaicans were driven by a determination and a plan to return home. Jamaicans therefore became a force to be reckoned with. The country Jamaica provided a purpose to be overseas, and it also provided a cultural safety net that meant that nothing, no matter what it was, racism, classism, or any other form of discrimination, would never affect the Jamaican, because his objective was always to return home. The conference theme is Jamaica and its diaspora partnering for economic growth. The focus on growth is appropriate, given the fact that the absence of growth in some instances caused the growth of the diaspora. During the next few days, the areas for growth and development will be discussed keenly. The matter of the development of human capital, investments, health and safety, education, culture, and sports. The conference will also learn what is the true value of the Jamaican diaspora, as the Caribbean Policy Research Institute will share with us the findings of their study. For many of us, we focus on the remittances as one flow, which accounts for some 17% of GDP. But the truth is, it's the Jamaicans that are buying the nostalgic goods overseas, and that's why we have the sponsors who are here. It's the Jamaicans many times who come as tourists to Jamaica. It's the Jamaicans who save in Jamaica, who invest in real estate in Jamaica. So I'm very curious to see later on in the week, what are the findings? What is the true value of the diaspora to Jamaica? I wish at this point to again commend our sponsors, Grace Kennedy Victoria Mutual Business Society, National Continental Corporation, Flow, Lasco, Ray and Nephew, and so many others who have come together to help us to stage this event where we will celebrate the work of the Jamaicans overseas, where we will welcome home our Jamaicans, where we will create the opportunity to discuss matters related to Jamaica. And with those few words of welcome, I now invite our Deputy Mayor to come forward to also provide welcome.
That was Mr. Earl Jarrett, the chairman of the conference, also the chief executive officer of the Jamaica National Group, doing the greetings and opening remarks for the conference.
We recognize the presence of Their Excellencies Governor General Sir Patrick Allen and Lady Allen.
The Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Dr. Peter Phillips, Leader of the Opposition, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. And I want to welcome you all here this evening. Isn't it a beautiful evening? A beautiful place to be. A pearl of the Caribbean, Kingston, Jamaica. I am here this afternoon to bring greetings. Your Worship, the Mayor is not here, but the Deputy is essential. I bring greetings on behalf of the Mayor, who was unavailable, unable to make it today. Over the last 55 years, Jamaica has had good times and bad times. We have been recognized by the rest of the world as some of the fastest, the most coolest, the most beautiful, the most talented, the most musically inclined, and most creative. We have much to be proud of, but still much more can be achieved. Aspect on land in the Caribbean Sea, whose culture and history has made it among the most visited destinations in the world. Our athletes, musicians, beauty queens, politicians, scholars, spelling bee champions, writers, dancers, artists, inventors have taken Jamaica to the world. And after just 55 years of independence, we are not only the Mecca of talent, we are the home of versatility and creativity. This celebration, however, is not for the rest of the world. It is for Jamaica and Jamaicans. Wherever you are and wherever you are from, this Diaspora celebration is our way of saying, look how far we have come. Many slips have occurred on the way, and we have lost ground in several areas due to our own actions and inactions. This does not discourage us, for now, for we know that there is nothing that is wrong with Jamaica that cannot be fixed by what is right with Jamaica. I applaud the Ministry of Culture for its bold steps. We must never fail to look back on what we have done and accomplished as a nation. We oftentimes share so much of Jamaica with the rest of the world that we forget to share some of it with our own Jamaicans. So, this conference, this speech this year, Jamaica is for Jamaicans. Let us take pride in what we do and how we do it. Let us do things this year, not for ourselves, but for Jamaica. Be neighborly, be ambassadors to everyone we meet. Let Jamaica not only be known for one love to the world, but also for a sense of national pride and unity that set us free and gave us independence 55 years ago. This city, the capital of Jamaica, and its leadership has committed to instilling civic pride in all residents and students. Let us replicate it from Negril Point to Moran Point. This way, Jamaica 55 will not just be a celebration, but a recalibration of values, custom, pride, and system. Let us live not by our selfish accomplishment, but by our anthem. Whether at yard or abroad, wherever you are being, a Jamaican does not change. This land is your land. This land is my land. This land was made for you and me, and we shall enjoy it. Good evening.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Williams.
We will now have a 5-minute
Also a
video
5-minute feature video
called
featuring
Jamaica
the
55
55
Diaspora Conference.
Jamaica is an investment-rich space.
The table is set because our fiscal house is on an improved trajectory.
Expanding and upgrading our port facilities to capitalize on trade.
Building highways to development.
Launching a national cadre of youth volunteers.
Teaming young professionals with government policymakers. And growing our agri-parks.
We are maximally enthused that 5 in 4 will be delivered.
How do we keep the momentum?
We need to leverage the diaspora to advance Jamaica's development objectives.
We want to move, finally at the end of all of this, to a strategy for engagement that is going to work to the benefit of both the Jamaica domestic economy and the Jamaica.
This conference has been reshaped and will be more solutions-oriented.
And here, the government agencies will come together to demonstrate that we can have a fast-track, one-stop shop service for diaspora business transactions.
I made the transition to Jamaica 22 years ago. This is my parents' home.
I encourage our diasporans to continue and to expand on this tradition of giving back to Jamaica.
Conference 2017 takes place against the backdrop of Jamaica's 55th year of independence.
Would you like to sample the porridge? Yellow yam and sweet potato.
Yes, man, we're the vibes. It's 55. Jamaica independence and passion come alive.
The celebrations will span the length and breadth of the island and will include church services, parish vigils, flag-raising ceremonies, festival bandwagon, public fora, street dances, independence concerts, and stage shows.
We look forward to your full participation in the conference.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to recognize our Chief Justice, the Honorable Zayla McCallum, who is in attendance this evening. I now invite the Leader of the Opposition, Dr. Peter Phillips. 1 second, my apology. We'll now have a musical tribute from the boys band 8.
They are all from the award-winning Jamaica College Band, most members of which just recently graduated from 5th and 6th forms.
Aside from the common bond of true blue blood, they also share a genuine love and passion for music of all genres. Though they're teenagers, they're 16 to 19 years old. Their musicianship and performance skills are well beyond their years.
Whatever you need, 8 is enough.
Pull up the vibes that you're playing. Can you play some more? Can you play some more? Lift it up, jack it up, pull it up, come again now. Can you play some more? Can you play some more? Without the dance hall, what we would I do? Reggae music call. You must have to jump up. When you hear sweet reggae, would you batten woulda do? Reggae music call, you must answer to. Jump up when you hear sweet reggae. Would you bat and bury some and if you tell them go there? Everyone a do the dance when them love. In this ya dance hall, no form of grudge. Greet everyone that enter with a hug. You don't gotta listen to some sweet rubber dub 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 dub. Pull up the vibes that you're playing. Can you play some more? Can you play some more? Lift it up, jack it up, pull it up, come again now. Can you play some more? Can you play some more? Starry and the one named Skellion, them know everything where I want. So me real and in and me can. If they find out in me grudging them in a the land. Everyone inside is like family. I see no strangers around, yeah. The whole massive is here, and tonight we don't care. Kill the violence, let's start rocking instead. Jump up along, every man get red now. Pull up the vibes that you're playing. Can you play some more? Can you play some more? Lift it up, jack it up, pull it up, come again now. Can you play some more? Can you play some more? Without the dancer, where we woulda do reggae music call. You must answer to jump up when you hear sweet reggae. Would you bat and bury someone if you tell them go there? Pull up the vibes that you're playing. Can you play some more? Can you play some more? Lift it up, jack it up, pull it up, come again now. Can you play some more? Can you play some more? Pull up the vibes.
An amazing rendition of Barry's Hammond's Pull Up the Vibes featuring Bridget Banker.
We want to thank the Boy Band 8. Thank you, Boy Band 8. I found it curious that they're from a school called Jamaica College. I'm certain Wayne Golden wouldn't be too happy about that. And it was never organized that he'd be followed by a JC boy. It's not my fault, Honorable Peter Phillips, that your parents made that choice for you. But with that said, I'd like to invite the Leader of the Opposition, Dr. Phillips, to speak.
I believe Earl thought I was performing with the band. We claim the same college, but generations slightly different. Your Excellency, Most Honorable Governor General, and Most Honorable Lady Allen, Most Honorable Prime Minister, Ministers of Government, Honorable Chief Justice, Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, visiting friends from the Jamaican diaspora overseas, distinguished ladies and gentlemen all. Having begun in 2004, the convening of these diaspora conferences, and the latest now being Diaspora 55, is now a fixed part of Jamaica's national agenda. It recognizes the simple fact that the diaspora is now an essential and integral part of the Jamaican family. In today's globalized world, in which international borders are disappearing, Jamaica's future and that of the diaspora are inextricably intertwined. Traditionally, We have concentrated mainly on the issue of remittances in assessing the benefits flowing from the diaspora. We now need, however, to recognize a wider role for the diaspora in our economic life. As has been pointed out, the diaspora is an important and increasing source of investments into Jamaica. And we also need to recognize, as many local businesses have, that the diaspora represents a vital market for Jamaican products. Indeed, were we to concentrate on supplying our domestic market and our overseas Jamaican market, then I am certain that the Jamaican economy could be made fully active and growth would be no problem at all. Today, given the objectives of this conference, we must recognize that despite the progress we have made in restoring macroeconomic stability and laying the platform for growth, Jamaica's economic and social problems persist. We are still a long way from achieving the levels of sustained and equitable economic growth that will create a Jamaica that works for all. We are a part of the English-speaking Caribbean, which remains the only region that is yet to fully recover from the global economic crash of 2008. On top of that, there is turmoil in the world economy caused by, among other things, the prospect of Brexit, which threatens to deprive us in the Caribbean of a traditional bridgehead into the European market. There's also the uncertainty surrounding international economic policy of our neighbors to the north. And there are significant changes occurring also in emerging markets. Perhaps not since World War II has the future of the global political and economic order seemed so uncertain. For a country like ours, in a region of small states, the role of the Jamaican diaspora becomes all the more critical if we are to be able to influence global events and fulfill our mission of delivering the benefits of modern life to all Jamaicans. Nor should we, in this regard, ignore the role of the diaspora overseas in being able to influence the cast of policy in the traditional centers of power in the countries where they reside. I think we need to encourage all our friends in the diaspora to recognize the tremendous power that you have. As the nationals of other nations have recognized, it is a power which can be of immense benefit in helping to shape policies in the metropolitan centers for the benefit of Jamaica and other countries in the Caribbean. I would like to encourage this conference to focus on the establishment of a framework for the closest collaboration with and access to the expertise of Jamaican professionals as well as entrepreneurs in the diaspora. For given the need to radically modernize the educational system here and to ensure the training of the Jamaican workforce, given our need for urban planners and agricultural specialists and the like, we need to be able to draw upon the professional expertise of our nationals overseas, especially if we are to be able to compete successfully in the global economy. The professional and business collaboration between Jamaicans at home and the diaspora assumes an even greater importance when we bear in mind the fact that some 75% of our own university graduates migrate. I don't consider it necessarily a problem once we recognize that the boundaries of the Jamaican nation are not restricted to just this little piece of rock that we call Jamaica, and that we must draw upon the patriotic commitment of all our Jamaicans wherever they may be. It is my hope that this Conference 55 will help provide some signposts, because in the end, your success overseas is our success here, as our success will redound to your benefit. Let me wish this conference every success in realizing the objective of engaging the diaspora even more fully in Jamaica's development agenda. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Peter Phillips, for that presentation of greetings.
Coming
for
up next in our
identifying the value
program,
of
we
our
have
Jamaican
Ms.
diaspora.
Tanisha
Now invite
Westcar,
Ms.
the
Tanisha
Diaspora
Westcar,
Advisory
Diaspora Board member, and future
a
leader
little
from
bit
the
about
UK,
Mrs.
to bring greetings on
Westcar.
behalf of
My
all
apologies.
the diaspora.
She's an avid volunteer that believes that excellence is the ability to be and give your best to create outstanding results, and can be practiced by anyone who is dedicated to being at the top of his or her field. Mrs. Westcar.
Your Excellencies, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, Governor General, and the Most Honorable Lady Allen, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, Senator, the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, our many distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm honored to have been selected to bring remarks on behalf of the diaspora at this very important opening ceremony for the Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference, being held under the theme Partnership for Growth, right here in our beautiful and historic city of Kingston. The hosting of this year's conference is very timely as Jamaica celebrates its milestone 55th anniversary of independence, under the theme, Celebrating Jamaicans at Home and Abroad. This is indeed an important juncture in Jamaica's history to not only reflect on the past, but strategically plan for the future. On behalf of my colleagues, I commend the government of Jamaica, particularly the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, for its sustained interest and for the priority placed on strengthening engagement with the diaspora. In the words of our first national hero, Marcus Messiah Garvey, who was certainly a pioneer in the concept of diaspora, having made such a significant international impact while residing outside of Jamaica, a people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Indeed, we are pleased that much effort has been made over the years to build on Marcus Garvey's legacy, as we seek to strengthen relations and reconnect with the 3 million strong global diaspora. Jamaica's impact throughout the world is unmatched, and our culture has the uncanny ability to leave and has left its mark in any society. It is remarkable that at this conference, we will have the representation not only from the more prominent diaspora regions, the UK, USA, and Canada, but also from much further afield, including Nigeria, Japan, Cayman, and even the United Arab Emirates. Welcome home, everyone. Our interest and participation in this important conference is a demonstration of our pride and passion in Jamaica and our firm desire to support partnership for growth, national development, social advancement, and ownership of a piece of the rock. The conference is an important avenue to directly harness the power of the diaspora and to engage in topics such as the Economic Growth Council, education, crime and security, health, as well as trade and investment. The latter is of special interest to the younger members of the diaspora who utilize these measures to connect more deeply to the country of their heritage. Youth engagement is critical in ensuring the sustainability of our legacy. It allows us to embrace new energy, innovation, and creativity so that Jamaica can attain the Vision 2030 goals and become a place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. In this digital age, it is vital to engage and empower our youth, in particular the second, third, and fourth generation across the diaspora via offline and online platforms, including social media. We look forward to exploring these ideas in more detail at the Global Young Leaders of Jamaica Youth Forum on day 3 of conference. I also take this opportunity to thank Senator Johnson Smith for engaging the youth in the main diaspora regions during her visits in the last 18 months. As thought leaders in our respective regions, we continue to contribute to Jamaica through philanthropic efforts, business, and investment. At the conference, I hope to gain a better understanding of the actions and initiatives of both the government and private sector towards national development, as well as share our own views on same. May the conversations and exchanges in the plenary sessions, workshops, and marketplace be effective in meeting the objectives of the conference and lead to action that further develops Jamaica and assists Jamaicans throughout the diaspora. Through our partnership for growth and collaboration on various projects, we can move forward to strengthen the bond between Jamaica and her diaspora. Over the next few days, we hope to reconnect as we link with families and friends and enjoy the pre-independence festivities. Finally, I wish to emphasize that out of many, we are one people, regardless of where we live around the world. Let us therefore unite in love and service to Jamaica. I wish you an interesting and productive conference. Thank you.
Diaspora Advisory Board member and future leader, United Kingdom, Mrs. Tanisha Westcar. In case you're just joining us, welcome to our live coverage of the opening ceremony of the Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference.
The Diaspora Conference has always been a successful example of public-private partnership, and we have a number of sponsors we would like to recognize. There is Jamaica National, there's Victoria Mutual, Grace Kennedy, J. Ray and Nephew Limited, Jampro, and the RGR Gleno Group.
Is in close partnership with the ministry with Minister Grange's ministry. And much of what you see physically here at the conference reflects her ministry's ideas and creativity. As you know, she has been a minister, a member of parliament for many years, and she has served in this area of culture and gender for a very, very long time. What you may not know is that she herself is actually somebody from the cultural industry itself, having been in business and culture, but also having established a newspaper while she lived overseas herself in Canada. So in a very particular way, she's also a former member of the diaspora. I break protocol a little bit, forgive me all. And with that said, I welcome Minister Grange.
Son of national hero, the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
Your Excellencies, the Most Honorable Patrick Allen and the Most Honorable Lady Allen, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, Dr. Peter Phillips, Leader of the Opposition, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and my close colleague, Honorable Chief Justice, Other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as Miss Lou would say, how they do? Howdy. Boy, what a thank you, howdy. Today is a momentous occasion as we celebrate the diaspora during our 55th anniversary of our independence. As such, I come to this occasion as the minister under whose mandate the Jamaica 55 celebration falls with a whole lot of mixed emotions. First, let me express my thanks to my colleague, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, for inviting me not only to be a part of this significant event, but also to ask me to make some remarks on this occasion. Minister, I commend you and your ministry for the decision to organize this event at this time so that we can together with representatives of our diaspora engage in dialogue to address the challenges of our age while celebrating our achievements. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to engage with the team in the discussions later on this week, and I have so much to say that will really excite you, but later on this week. Today, we are truly grateful to God that we can come together with our brothers and sisters living beyond the shores of Jamaica to celebrate as the Jamaican diaspora, to experience together the kinds of meditation and celebration linked into these types of events. It is therefore my distinct pleasure to share in welcoming to Jamaica all the members of our family who have been able to come and share with us physically the significance of this moment. In doing so, I want to commend you all, not only for your tireless contribution to Jamaica, as seen in the many projects you have spearheaded at both personal and collective levels, but also for your stalwart contribution to the success of the places where you now live and call home. We want you to know that we are truly proud of your achievements, because in doing so, you have also brought glory to Jamaica. I want also to express my gratitude to the multitude of generations of Jamaicans across the world who are not able to share in these gatherings and deliberations. But as we are here celebrating the spirit and character of the Jamaican people, we join our hearts with them and thank them for their steadfast support for our country and our agenda to enhance the prosperity of Jamaica and Jamaicans. And I use the opportunity to say that we're streaming live. As minister responsible for culture, it would be remiss of me not to remind us of the power of culture in transnational identification. All of us are here not because of where we live, but because we share a common cultural identity. In fact, it was the Honorable Louise Bennett, Miss Lou, mother of Jamaican culture, who always said while she resided in Canada that anywhere me there, a Jamaica me there. We are stronger when, as we cross transnational boundaries, we still maintain our identification with the things that have made us the kind of people we are. Over years, we have moved across oceans and seas. First, unwillingly in shackles that were deemed to break our spirit and kill our vibes. But thanks to the resilience and resistance of our ancestors, we never gave in to that system of oppression, but rather set out to preserve our dignity and integrity through episodes of rebellion and revolution aimed at restoring self-pride and cultural identity. Later, we moved to the sound of the drums, beckoning us to engage for better lives. This led to revolutions in social and political systems, such as labor reform, adult suffrage, self-government, and political independence. We now boast a nation with a diverse culture out of many, one people. And then we moved to the drums of better lives and ended up creating diasporas from which to ensure that home would always be home and that we will always feel at home whenever we come home. By way of ships like the Windrush and planes like BOAC, you remember those, and Pan Am, we now populate the metropolitan centers of the world, but we never forget our island home, Jamaica. Sometimes it is said in words like those of Claude McKay, I have forgotten much, but still remember the Ponciatas red in warm December. And so sometimes we come to just simply remember. We remember those precious memories and those wonderful times. In wishing for us all a great engagement of minds over the next few days, I pray that we will all remember that it is in our culture that we construct the identity that unites and sustains us. Like every human activity, this culture has to be nurtured, it has to be supported, and translated from generation to generation. And I must tell you, I'm so happy to see the participation and enthusiastic involvement of second generation, third generation, and so many young people being involved in activities in the Jamaican diaspora. And I'm going to ask you all to really give them a big round of applause and encourage them. So, brothers and sisters, during the next few days, let us keep this at the center of our thoughts as we deliberate and come up with new projects. Let us then come up with ideas to sustain this great movement we call Diaspora, in which we come to the table as equal partners to transform the lives of our people and build a posterity of prosperity. May God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Just a quick reminder that as you're watching this stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're watching it, to share it with your friends.
Thank you so much, Minister Grange,
of this stream,
for setting a great context for our meetings. It is now my pleasure to introduce my boss for this conference, in that I report to her in the areas of the diaspora. The Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, as you all know, is the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. She's a senator. She's an attorney by profession. She's a young lady who has grown up in a family committed to public service and the recognition of history in Jamaica. I would imagine her dinner table and breakfast table would have had conversations about Jamaica, where it began, where it can go, and what are some of the major influences and opportunities for Jamaica. She entered the world of politics. At the time, I wondered whether she was up to it. But she has been up to it, and she was the opposition spokesperson on education and youth. And during that period, I can recall she took on some very tricky issues. In Jamaica, as you know, there's a feeling that when a young girl gets pregnant, she stops schools for the rest of her life. Mr. Johnson-Smith took that on as a particular objective. I was able to change the rules in Jamaica to enable young mothers, teenage mothers, to resume their education and to continue to build their lives. It is this tenacity and personality that we now have within this ministry. And I must say, during the weeks that we have had to put this conference together, I have seen diplomacy at work, as the many stakeholder interests locally, internationally, and everywhere are difficult to meet. And so I introduce and welcome our Minister, the diplomat, Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith.
Minister Grange just commented on the power of transnational identification, Theo. So no matter where in the world you are, if you're a first, second, third generation Jamaican, as long as you have some Jamaican in you, you can still
Your
identify with the
Excellencies,
culture.
the Most Honourable Sir Patrick and Lady Allen, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Honorable Peter Phillips, Leader of the Opposition, other many distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you all. It is indeed an honor and pleasure to welcome each of you here this evening, especially those who have traveled from Cayman Islands, Canada, Japan, Nigeria, the United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and elsewhere. I'm so pleased to welcome you to this significant event. In this globalized world, characterized by interconnectedness and interdependence, the cultivation of strategic partnerships is the hallmark of and pathway to success. In this context, Jamaicans at home and abroad must engage in partnerships for our mutual success. It is with this understanding that my ministry intends to pursue synergistic partnerships with you, or diaspora, to lay the foundations for a prosperous Jamaica where no one should be left behind. The Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference presents a platform for us to move strategically into a new era of diaspora homeland partnership. Let us seize this opportunity to re-energize and re-engineer new partnerships for growth, as captured in this year's theme. This conference is centered on Jamaica's economic growth agenda, with emphasis on 3 areas. First, building, caring for, and protecting our human capital, our greatest asset. This, of course, refers to our panels on education, health, and national security. Secondly, analyzing and understanding the drivers of economic growth. What propels? What retards? Thirdly, promoting sustainable and inclusive socioeconomic development, an imperative for us to achieve our National Vision 2030 goals. We are appreciative of the decision of our over 700 registrants to engage in 3 days of robust interaction. We also look forward to your participation in the Diaspora Day of Service as you devote your time and talents to some 25 critical projects across the country. More importantly, I commend the diaspora at large, watching and listening right now. You're well represented here this evening. I want to thank and commend you for your unwavering support of this Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference as we anticipate building on foundations, strengthening bonds, and creating new pathways. I look forward to our interactions as we exchange ideas on topics and issues of mutual interest and elaborate shared goals over the next few days. As we seek to bridge the generational divide, the conference will also facilitate the coming together of young leaders in Jamaica and in diaspora locations globally to share ideas and initiatives around entrepreneurship, mentorship, and cultural affinity. And I want to let you know that it was the young people themselves who not only determined those topics, but who galvanized and organized only with the guidance and support of the ministry, but who ensured that the content prepared for their youth forum was not only youth-centric, but youth-driven. So I want to congratulate them for all the efforts they've made. And I know it will be successful. It's also expected that new partnerships and new networks will be delivered out of this encounter. The Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference represents the culmination of months of planning and preparation by a dedicated team of individuals throughout the private and public sector. This public-private partnership model must be lauded, and it must also be replicated. Allow me to express my sincere gratitude to my excellent team at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and to our legacy partners represented here who have been true stalwarts in the staging of biennial diaspora conferences from its inception. We also welcome our new sponsors who have come on board with a great zeal. You're all significant and treasured partners, and your patriotism and loyalty to Jamaica and the diaspora is invaluable. Ladies and gentlemen, I continue to believe that Jamaica's best days are ahead. That, I know, is also a part of the vision of our Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Michael Holness. Indeed, increased engagement of the diaspora was already on his mind before we took office as an administration last year. It is with much pleasure, therefore, that I invite him to share his own thoughts and expectations of a new era for Jamaica in partnership with the diaspora. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming warmly to the podium the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. Welcome to the podium, Prime Minister.
And as the Prime Minister takes the podium, we just want to reiterate some of the areas of focus for the Diaspora Conference: building and caring and protecting our human capital, promoting economic sustainability, and examining the drivers of economic growth.
Thank you very much, Minister. Your Excellencies, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, Governor General and Lady Allen, Dr. Peter Phillips, Leader of the Opposition. You heard from our esteemed Minister of Foreign Affairs, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, the Honorable Olivia Babsy-Grange, our Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sports. Did I leave something off? The Most Honorable Professor Sir Kenneth Hall, former Governor General, and Lady Hall, the Honorable Chief Justice Zayla McCalla, members of the Diaspora Advisory Board, and members of the Diaspora, members of the Diplomatic Corps, major partners and legacy sponsors, and other sponsors. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Before I start, let me say that the last time I addressed, well, the first time I addressed the Diaspora Conference was when I was the Minister of Education, and that was some time ago. And I came prepared with a written speech. And I delivered the speech. And I was certain that I delivered the speech well. But everyone was stoic. And then someone from the Ministry of Culture came on. And he started, "Carry me a Kigowal instead, market, not a Quatino set." And the entire conference erupted. And I learned my lesson then, because when people come back home, yes, they want to hear the speeches, what the government plans to do, but they also want to reconnect with the culture, with the roots. They want to feel at home. And so it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all back home. Welcome home. As you would have realized, that I am not able to welcome you in song. But from the bottom of my heart, welcome home. I'm delighted to be here this evening to open the Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference. I must give special commendation to Minister Johnson-Smith and her team at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, as well as the entire preparatory committee led by Mr. Earl Jarrett, for the tremendous work they have undertaken over the last month in organizing this conference. This is truly a great example of public-private partnership at work. to our diasporans who have traveled from Africa, the Asia-Pacific region, Europe, the Middle East, the Caribbean, and North America, and indeed far and wide. On behalf of the government of Jamaica, we welcome you and acknowledge your commitment to deepening the relationship between the diaspora and Jamaica through your presence here at the conference. Your presence is a clear indication of your unwavering loyalty and commitment to your homeland. I have personal knowledge from my own travels to many diaspora communities that your heartstrings are firmly attached to your roots in Jamaica, Jamaica land you still love. And I know from the many emails and the many letters and the many social media posts that you still remain interested in your nation's affairs. I know that your heart also swells with pride, as do ours, when our sportsmen and women fly Jamaica's flag high every time they represent this great nation. We continue to demonstrate to the world we're little, but we're Talawa. I take this opportunity to reaffirm that the government is cognizant of the fact that you, our diaspora members, are amongst our best assets, sharing your skills, creativity, and boundless ingenuity, and we must use this to our nation's benefit. Further, this administration pledges to continue facilitating your activities, your involvement in every facet of the country's socio-economic development. We are pleased to see that the engagement process has evolved over the 13 years of philanthropy to one where the diaspora is now fully on board. It would be remiss of me not to recognize the significant contribution, oftentimes at great sacrifice, that the diaspora makes to communities, schools, health facilities across the island. Let me express my profound appreciation on behalf of a truly grateful nation. This year's conference is aligned to the strategic national plans for development in the sectors of health, education, tourism, in addition to the cultural and creative industries. Of equal importance is the synergy with the growth agenda. Over a year and a half ago, we embarked on a plan to create prosperity for all Jamaicans. A critical objective of this policy thrust is the attainment of economic growth and job creation. We are of the firm belief that it is only through sustained growth that we will be able to provide the kind of services that our people so richly deserve. Consequently, we set ourselves a target of meaningful growth and job creation. We have an opportunity in this 55th year of our independence to normalize economic growth and prosperity, thereby reversing years of low growth. We commit to increasing job opportunities for our people and releasing their true entrepreneurial energies. Continued business and consumer confidence and declining unemployment rates shows that we are on the right path. I invite and encourage you the diaspora to participate in this process. The government simply cannot do it alone. We need the participation of all our citizens, whether at home or abroad. It is therefore imperative that we build a strong and symbiotic relationship amongst Jamaicans across the globe. One of our principal objectives is to make it easier for prospective investors, including the diaspora, to conduct business in and with Jamaica. I know many of you here have expressed strong concerns about the bureaucratic processes that hinder investment. Our aim is to streamline the work of critical agencies and procedures to avoid duplication, thereby creating a more favorable business environment. Work continues in terms of pursuing the growth initiatives, such as maintaining macroeconomic stability and pursuing debt reduction, pursuing bureaucratic reforms, stimulating greater asset utilization, and harnessing the power of the diaspora. However, and I'm sure you will agree with me, that the greatest growth-stimulating activity is to make Jamaica safe and secure. Improving citizen security now, at this time, is priority number one for my government. We have passed a groundbreaking piece of legislation, which, with others to come and other initiatives to be announced, will, for the first time since our independence, empower our government to confront the breakdown in law and order and public safety in our country, and to return Jamaica to the place of choice for you to come home, to choose to live here, raise your families here, do business here, and retire here in paradise, safe and secure. How to optimally engage you, members of the diaspora, is a critical component of the overall plan for growth and prosperity. And I know Senator, the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, will provide more details of the national diaspora policy and its status. But I want to emphasize that we are serious about strengthening the relationship between the diaspora and Jamaica in every aspect. And so we are allocating the necessary time and resources to ensure that the national diaspora policy adequately represents the level of commitment we ascribe to building this relationship. On day 2 of the conference, I am pleased to note that there will be a special growth forum which will highlight the potential areas where you can become involved. This is inclusive of the business opportunities in logistics, business process outsourcing, nutraceuticals, and agriculture. Our diaspora must be increasingly engaged in the business prospects of Jamaica. This is yet another element of our resolve to strengthen our relationship with the diaspora. I implore the diaspora to take full advantage of the opportunities that will be presented at the Diaspora Conference so that there will be concrete plans and opportunities for future engagement. The conference represents a springboard for furthering the relationship between Jamaica and its diaspora. Let us continue to connect and partner for growth in this mutually rewarding engagement. I do hope that as many of you as possible will be here with us for the upcoming celebration of emancipation and our 55th anniversary of independence. We have a great cultural program in store for you and encourage you to participate and enjoy it fully. God bless you. God bless our beautiful island, Jamaica, land we love truly and dearly.
Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holmes,
Thank you, Prime
delivering
Minister.
the keynote address. He noted that the
We are
government
now
recognizes that our diaspora
at
members
the end
are
of the,
among our
the
best
opening
assets,
ceremony for the Diaspora
and the
Conference.
government will continue to facilitate
And at this
their
moment,
involvement
I'd again
in
like to
national
thank everybody
development.
for participating thus far.
He also mentioned
We're going
some
to
of
have a
the
slight
sessions coming up in
punctuation
the
as we move
conference.
into
Yes,
the
growth forums
Governor
in particular
General's
on day 2,
Special Diaspora
and in particular
Awards
he
function.
mentioned that eras
And I
where
invite
you,
Major
the
Ephraim
viewers,
White
and not just the delegates here, but also the viewers,
to come forward
can become
immediately
involved in
following
making Jamaica the place of
the
choice to
Ministerial
live,
band's
work,
interlude.
raise families and children, and do business.
We're here with Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith. She presented her remarks and now she will tell us about her expectations for the conference. Welcome, Minister. I'm Lorraine Mendez.
Hi, afternoon.
All right, we are going live on many platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so on. For the viewers watching, what can you tell them about getting involved as members of the diaspora in the activities of Jamaica?
Well, can we talk about the conference immediately? That's the first way to get involved. The first way, we're open to local registration as well as overseas. Okay, so we're also encouraging young people here, well, actually all ages, who are interested in creating networks with the diaspora to come out, register. We're at the Jamaica Conference Center from tomorrow until Wednesday, and there's a diaspora day of service on the Thursday as well. And we have 25 projects across the island that you can be a part of if you'd like to. And you can just register by going to our website, mfaft.gov.jm, in order to do that. What we're hoping to have is a broader connection, not only of networks, but of actual cooperative efforts to have measurable and achievable outcomes in this conference. We have areas focused on building, caring for, and protecting our human capital. So our education and training panels, our health panels, our national security panels. We're also looking at tourism and our creative industries, and we're also focusing on economic growth and investment. So we're promoting partnerships between Jamaica and the diaspora. So not only encouraging people to send remittances home, but to look at how you can invest so you can build your wealth while you also develop Jamaica.
Minister, you mentioned the participation of so many young people for this year's conference. How encouraging is this in terms of the government trying to engage our diaspora?
Very encouraging, because for years it appears that there's been a lot of talk about engaging second and third generations, etc., but we've not been able to get very far as a country in doing that. So what I have decided is to get the young people to do it, meaning we have to have their ideas about how they want to engage, and engaging in a way that is comfortable and interesting to them. So we've brought some young people on board who I've met literally for the first time over my first year of travels and invited them to come together and pull together an event, a youth forum, where we'll connect them with our National Youth Advisory Council and other young people who are interested to discuss how it is we can have a sustainable path for inclusion of young people coming out of this.
Remind us of the day for that youth forum, because we're streaming everything live.
Yes,
so
that's Wednesday afternoon. That's Wednesday afternoon. And there should be a special low rate for young people for that afternoon, so they can come, be part of the whole session, and of course share in the coffee break. I think the rate should be up on our website now, but I don't want to say so if it is not. But just check it out, mfaft.gov.jm. And again, that's Wednesday afternoon for Global Young Leaders Forum.
Thank you so much, Senator Johnson Smith, for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
All right, here we have with us Leo Gilling of the Jamaica Diaspora Education Task Force. And we'll be asking Mr. Gilling this afternoon to tell us a bit about the Education Task Force, because we know that the diaspora has been very active in education.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about the task force.
Theodore, it's been really a great thing for me over the past 4 years. The past 4 years has changed my life more than the past 50 years. believe
Okay.
me. And it's because of my involvement with the Education Task Force that started with 6 of us. And sometimes nowadays we have 70 people on a conference call.
Okay.
And but what the Diaspora Task Force does, it first came to Jamaica to look at the needs, the gaps, the challenges. We did what we call a fact-finding mission.
Yes.
And from that, we put together a list of things that we want to accomplish.
Yeah.
And we shared that with the Ministry and with the Early Childhood Commission and with the Jamaica Teachers Association and all of the stakeholders. And then we take time, brick by brick in the
Yes.
past 4 years, knocking down those things.
And you've gotten a great deal of support during the
Yes,
past
we
4
have
years.
gotten, it's been great because we've been collaborating with all of these public and private sectors and agencies.
So are there any particular projects you'd like to mention?
Oh, of course, you know something.
Come on, tell us some.
In 2016, it took us 9 months to put a project together.
Yes.
That we presented to the ministry, presented to the JTA, presented to the private sector. It's called Pledge to Build. What is Pledge to Build?
Yes.
Pledge to Build, we attempt to get the diaspora to buy into this project, where they put money, a total of $2 million US, so that we can upgrade infant and primary schools, because the government its effort right now is to focus on early childhood.
So we're talking about infrastructure, toilets, classrooms, front gates.
Desks and chairs and a lot of listen, there's a school what we've identified in St. Elizabeth called Marie Cole.
Yes.
Marie Cole, one of the classrooms, I don't even know the Tata bus, so we use it. You remember Tata bus?
Yes, man. Everybody
the Tata
knows.
bus, them stop, right?
Yes.
Well, that classroom is made up of with a Tata bus, a whole broken down Tata bus, and it's breaking down further right now. We need to change that. Yes.
Okay,
Right,
definitely,
so
definitely.
this is what this public pledge to build is about to do, to get us to move those things out. We're looking at a video, and some of these kids were sitting on the ground
Yes.
doing homework and stuff. I mean, it's not a good thing for us to see. So
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yes.
Thank you, Sir Gilling.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for spending some time with us,
Respect.
and we wish you every success
All right.
in the
Respect,
Education
Virgin.
Task Force.
Yes, I thank
Cool,
you.
man.
That musical interlude was presented by the Jamaica Military Band. Theo, you can tell us some more about the band?
I will, but I have to admit that I love the renditions. There was This Is the Land of My Birth, and they rounded it
I
off
think I
with
heard Sly Mongoose.
Yes, man,
Yes.
they rounded it off with Sly Mongoose. Now, the Jamaica Military Band is the oldest continuous service unit of the Jamaica Defence Force. It consists of descendants of the 1st West India Regiment, which was formed in 1795 in the Windward Islands. And you know, you can identify members of the Jamaica Military Band by that very distinctive zouave uniform that they wear. And they are part of one of 2 units in the world to don the dress, the other being the Barbados Regiment Band.
The Jamaica Military Band has performed in various Caribbean countries, including Guantanamo Bay, the U.S. base in Cuba, as well as Barbados, Haiti, Bermuda, the Cayman Islands, and Puerto Rico. The band has also toured several cities in the United States, including New York, Chicago, and Miami.
All wonderful places. And in celebration of the 80th anniversary of the Jamaica Military Band in 2017, a combined Jamaica Military and Jamaica Band regiment visited the United Kingdom as part of the annual military exchange. Now, they were there in support of the Jamaica Defence Force contingent, which engaged in ceremonial duties, including the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace. And they spent 6 weeks there.
Now, Theo, you know that Jamaicans have always excelled at home and abroad, right?
Everywhere we go.
We're among the world's best.
Absolutely.
And so members of the diaspora are about to be recognized for their contribution to Jamaica. This is with the Governor General's Achievement Awards Diaspora. And it's one arm of the Governor General's program for excellence. The other arm is the I Believe initiative.
Definitely. A little more history on this, Lorraine. The award was introduced in 1991 by former Governor General, the late His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Howard Cook, and was at that time presented to individuals 35 years and older who had achieved greatly despite the difficult economic and socioeconomic circumstances. The individuals would have been making substantial contribution to the nation, but they would have not had to have been a recipient of a national honor at the time. These are the unsung heroes living in Jamaica and giving back to their communities in Jamaica.
Members of the diaspora were added to this award category or to these awards in 2006. And to be awarded, the persons would have to be 18 to 35 years old, and they would have been making a significant contribution to Jamaica in their host country.
Absolutely. And you know, there's also the bit about being Jamaican by birth and descent. Have to be Jamaican as well.
Your Excellency,
we're going to go back to the program now.
Former Governor General and Lady Hall, Honorable Mrs. Justice Zayla McCallum, Chief Justice, Ministers of State, Your Excellencies and members of the Diplomatic Corps, Your Excellencies in the United States, United Kingdom, and Canada, Permanent Secretaries, Chief of the Defense Staff, Major General Rocky Meade, Councillor Winston Ennis, Deputy Mayor of Kingston, Honorable Custodies and your spouses, Bishop the Reverend Everald Galbraith, District President of the Methodist Church in the Caribbean and the Americas, and Mrs. Galbraith, other distinguished guests, Mrs. Dion Tracy Daniel, Governor General's Secretary and members of the King's House team, our corporate sponsors of the Governor General's Achievement Award, members of the Governor General's Program for Excellence, the Advisory Board, and the GGPE Management Committee, the 2017 GGAA recipients in the diaspora from the 3 regions, family and friends of the recipients, other GGAA recipients and IBI ambassadors, members of the media, members of the security force, ladies and gentlemen, a special welcome to our brothers and sisters in and from the diaspora. Good evening to you all. Here we are in the ballroom of the Jamaica Pegasus, and to you viewers and listeners on the World Wide Web. The 2017 theme of the Governor General's Program for Excellence is inspiring and energizing communities to serve. We have assembled to fellowship and to recognize 6 worthy recipients of the Governor General's Achievement Award in the diaspora. These individuals, by their actions, have been and continue to make significant contribution to Jamaica and in their host country, thus embodying this year's theme. I wish to tender apologies on behalf of the Honorable Custodies Sally Porteous, Paul Mushet, Beryl Rochester, William Shagori, David Stair, Errol Johnson, and Acting Custos Claudette Bryan. Messrs. Christopher Barnes, the Managing Director of the Gleaner Company Media Limited, Gladstone Whitelock, Senior VP and General Manager of Scotia Building Society, Mr. Christopher Levy, President and CEO of the Jamaica Brawlers Group, Dr. Wayne Henry and Ms. Geraldine Griffith, members of the Governor General's Program for Excellence Advisory Board, and Bishop Glenford Duffus, GGAA recipient from Canada. I'm confident that a wonderful time will be had by all. It is therefore my privilege to invite the Honorable Sedmond Fuller, Custos Rotolorum, for the Parish of Kingston to extend the formal welcome. Custos Fuller.
Your Excellencies, Sir Patrick Allen and Lady Allen, the Most Honorable Prime Minister, Ms. Andrew Holness, Dr. Peter Phillips, Leader of the Opposition, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a good afternoon to you all. It is with great pleasure that I greet the proceedings of this conference and welcome you all on behalf of the people of Kingston and St. Andrew. The staging of this Diaspora conference in Kingston is timely and is in keeping with plans for the promotion and development of Kingston and St. Andrew to be the capital of the Caribbean for business, trade, education, culture, music, and entertainment. I understand from the objectives that this conference will bring together Jamaicans in the diaspora and at home at this time for meaningful conversation over these 3 days on caring and building our human capital, investment and economic growth, job creation, and facilitating diaspora investments. I am sure that if the conference focuses on our people, the outcome should be very possible. Looking at the program, I'm impressed with the listing of speakers who will participate in the conference, and I'm confident that these presenters will contain interesting observations and recommendations that will enhance the development of the Jamaican people here and in the diaspora. The Jamaicans in the diaspora have been a great contributor to national development. And as Jamaicans, we continue to provide the world with outstanding men and women, such as the great Usain Bolt, Bob Marley, scientists like Dr. Henry Lowe, and a number of other Jamaicans in the diaspora who are senators, congressmen and women, members of parliament, and president of prestigious universities. We have provided Jamaica with great political leadership. Any country that has produced leaders with the caliber and integrity of Bustamante, the Manleys, and Siaga, men that stood shoulder to shoulder with any world leader, must be proud. Jamaica, a small Caribbean island, can also boast to the world of our stable and democratic governance. What a beautiful country, Jamaica land we love. I take the opportunity to thank the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, and her team for organizing this important event in Kingston, and wish you all good luck, fruitful discussion on enhancing the relations between Jamaica in the diaspora and at home. We know that Jamaica is not just an island physically located in the Caribbean, but extends to every country and region where Jamaicans reside. That is why we meet at a conference such as this to chart a pathway for the truly sustainable development of this country, socially, culturally, and economically. On behalf of the peoples of Kingston and St. Andrew, and indeed the entire Jamaica, I warmly welcome you to this truly important family gathering and congratulate those individuals who, through their work and worth, are being inducted into the Governor General's Achievement Awards program. It's guaranteed that we're going to have a very good time this evening. I thank you.
Thank you, Custis Fuller. Ladies and gentlemen, the mantra of the I Believe initiative, the other program of the Governor General's Program for Excellence, is using what is right with Jamaica to fix what is wrong with Jamaica. We are all blessed to be called to serve at a time like this. It is therefore my honor and privilege to invite our Governor General to address us. Please help me welcome His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen.
Most Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Peter Phillips, Leader of the Opposition, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Minister Johnson, and your colleagues from Cabinet, former Governor General, the Most Honorable Professor Sir Kenneth Hall, and the Most Honorable Lady Hall, Chief Justice, Your Excellencies and members of the Diplomatic Corps, mayors, custodies, corporate sponsors, recipients of the Governor General's Award, and members of your family, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to each one of you. Lady Allen and I are very, very pleased to be with you for this special event in this week's program. And we extend to you, our diasporans, a very warm welcome home. In the 2 years since the last conference and awards ceremony, all three principal jurisdictions represented here have experienced political changes. It is to your credit that you, as leaders and members of the Jamaica diaspora community, have maintained your stability, preserved your principles, and remained focused on your commitment to this country, the country of your ancestors. We partner in the GGAA, we partner with the Diaspora Conference to have our ceremony and recognize those individuals who have been doing outstandingly well in the diaspora and have been connected here with us in Jamaica and are working for the building of our country. This we have been doing every 2 years since 2008. I want to thank you for all that you do for Jamaica, preserving the Jamaican character of enterprise, energy, creativity, cooperative endeavor in your countries of residence. Not only are you from the three principal areas of Canada, United States of America, and the United Kingdom, but there are other members of the diaspora coming in from as far as Japan. This afternoon, we recognize, or this evening it is now, we recognize and pay special tribute to 6 outstanding representatives who embody the values that we as Jamaicans hold dear. And for that, I congratulate them most heartily on their achievements, because their lives mirror what is right about our country. And they encourage us to use those virtues and initiatives to help to overcome the difficulties which we face. For 26 years, the Governor General's Achievement Award program is being conducted, and these are the qualities and the virtues that we look for in individuals to recognize. Individuals who have not received national honors, but who have been serving quietly and consistently in their communities locally here in Jamaica and also in the diaspora. We need to remind our people of our innate ability, our drive and potential to develop and manufacture products and provide service of world-class quality. We must never forget that our achievement to a large extent is the work of volunteers and organizations devoted to improving discipline, knowledge, skills, and attitudes, especially in our young people. And of course, we accomplish our objectives with the encouragement of a range of leaders, mentors, and supporters who share the vision of a Jamaica that is destined for greatness. Since we last met, the Governor General's Program for Excellence has continued to benefit from the generosity of our sponsors in the private sector, the Gleaner Company, Jamaica National Building Society, the Scotia Building Society, the Victoria Mutual Building Society, Jamaica Broilers, and Flow, to name a few. And we want to thank them for their support. We are constantly recruiting volunteers who have joined with the private sector entities to engage over 300 young people in our youth consultative conferences last year. These future leaders were exposed to innovations in career choices, as well as to the imperatives of integrity in public and private life. Jamaica can point to the legacy left to us by its standard bearers in a wide variety of fields. Apart from our national heroes, we can cite a selection of outstanding Jamaicans who made indelible marks both on our development and on our psyche. And so I want to remind you, as one of the representative bodies of Jamaicans at home and abroad, that each one of us has a legacy to leave. That an ethics-free postmodern way of behaving can be calamitous. That we must restore a basic respect for the sanctity of human life. That we must honor the confidence and courage of national heroes, Marcus Garvey, Norman Manley, and Alexander Bustamante, by doing more to protect the integrity of our people and our institutions. I want to remind you that we all have to do what we can to preserve hope in times of difficulties. I believe that the most critical point of intervention for diaspora support at this time in our history is with the young people of our country. The great need that Jamaica has today is not for governance structures and institutional capacity building, but more than ever, we need the enhancement of our human capital and a new and effective way of engaging millennials. Our young people hold the key to the prosperous and secure future of which the baby boomers dreamed. They need only to be heard. They do not only need to be heard, but they also need to be nurtured. They look around and notice the scarcity of moral imperatives, the lack of trust, the breakdown in family life and in community responsibility. They are becoming tired of an unproductive selfishness and unnecessary competition which rears its head too often to be ignored. Our challenge now is to prepare generation next by example, by nurturing, by training, and by listening to them. And we need to do so deliberately and purposefully. I have seen at close quarters the potential and the activism of our young people. I know that they are ready for the transformative role which the nation needs. Let us not frustrate them, but bring them into the process. This is what the Governor General's Achievement Award is all about, and the I Believe initiative. Our young people will be the successors for all of us who now hold office in the state apparatus, in the judiciary, the parliament, and in public and private enterprise. We need to give them our full support. Let us come together and do all we can to make them in Jamaica and across the world truly triumphant, proud, and free. I close with the words of a poem written by H.D. Carberry. And I quote, "The mold is not yet made, perhaps, that can unite and make my people one. But more important than the mold is the temper of the steel, the spirit of my people. And when that steel is smelted, and when that steel is tempered, and when that steel is cast, oh, what a people shall my people be. Strong, resilient, firm, committed, standing the test of time." Ladies and gentlemen, let's go forward and build now, for your legacy is in every life you touch. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Very wise council of recipients. I hope that you're going to go back to your regions and spread the word of the Governor General's Achievement Award and, of course, the I Believe initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, there are simply 8, all from the award-winning Jamaica College Band, most members of which just recently graduated from the 5th and the 6th forms. Aside from that common bond of true blue blood, they also share a genuine love and passion for music. Though they're teenagers ages 16 to 19, their musicianship and performance skills are well beyond their years. A truly Jamaican product with a touch of boy band flair, ready to energize, ignite, and entertain for any occasion. Whatever you need, 8 is enough. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome again the members of the Boy Band 8, Adrian Bacchus, Andre Bacchus, George Campbell, Bradley Dodd, Jada Dwyer, Moses Estick, Matthew Gillespie, and Jordan McCleary. The Boy Band 8 will render a musical tribute.
Don't let them fool ya. Or even try to school ya. Oh no. We've got a mind of our own, so is rocky, and you may stumble too. So while you're watching me because someone else is judging you, could you be love? Could you be love? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Could you be love? Could you be love? Don't let them change you. Or even rearrange you. We've got a life to live, yeah. They say only the fittest of the fittest shall survive. So stay alive, hey. Could you be loved and be loved? Could you be loved and be loved? Could you be loved? Oh no, and be loved. Could you be loved? Oh no, and be loved.
Thank you for that stirring rendition. 8.
That's boy band 8.
A wow
once
moment, don't you
again,
think?
and
Let
with
us
a
hear it
wonderful
again,
rendition
Father.
of "Could You Be Loved."
Boy
They came
band
to us before,
8.
and they are
We
certainly
really would like to recognize
wonderful
their
group.
management team,
We are going to
technical
continue with
crew
our
and
program now
chaperones,
with
Paulette Lance
greetings on
Dodd,
behalf of the corporate
Kevin
sponsors.
Butler, Ronaldo, Casanova, Carol, Dexter Dwyer, Patrice Dwyer Davis, and Rohan Dwyer. Parents, looking after the young ones, they're coming up to lead, proving that they're using what is right with Jamaica to fix what is wrong with Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, as His Excellency said, we continue to rely, our program continues to rely on the private sector for sponsorship of its annual activities. It is therefore my pleasure to invite Mr. Stephen Price, Managing Director of Flow Jamaica, to bring greetings on behalf of our corporate sponsors. Stephen?
Your Excellencies, the Most Honorable Prime Minister Andrew Holness, and Dr. Peter Phillips, Leader of the Opposition, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I stand before you as a proud Jamaican. I feel proud of our unity and the fact that we, both here and abroad, are 6 million strong. I feel proud that our identity is not limited to the shores of this island nation, but transcends time zones and tropical temperatures. I feel proud that we remain true to our roots, always little, but with talawa, whether in athletics, music, football, or even bobsled. Ladies and gentlemen, this national pride is the lifeblood of being a Jamaican. It is for that reason that the Diaspora has and continues to play such an important role in Jamaica's national development. I speak of the over 200 annual health missions funded by the Diaspora to provide free healthcare services, especially in rural communities. I speak of the contributions of Diaspora networks such as the Jamaica Diaspora Education Task Force and the Jamaica Diaspora Technology Task Force towards funding critical projects and facilitating capacity building initiatives. I also speak of the over 2 billion in remittances received annually. Our mission at Flow Jamaica speaks to connecting communities, transforming lives. Sponsorship of the Governor General's Achievement Awards is an important channel for commending people who, through their actions, have presented themselves as unsuspecting testaments to our ethos. It is therefore fitting that today we honor members of the diaspora hailing from the United Kingdom, the United States, and Canada who have given back to the Jamaican community in a selfless and significant way. Among this cohort of award recipients are the lead architect to the establishment of the Jamaica Youth Forum UK to assist with topical and grassroots issues for young people who are culturally disconnected. Committed lawyers who provide pro bono legal services to Jamaican nationals abroad, educating them about the correct procedures to comply with immigration laws, gain asylum, and successfully apply for work permits. We also have volunteers amongst this cohort who have consistently organized fundraising activities to support needy students in Jamaica and to strengthen the diaspora communities abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm certain that these contributions were made in times of need, away from the glitz and glamour of public events such as this. But commendation, when given, should be given publicly. It's against this background that I extend commendations to you, the recipients of the Governor General Achievements Awards, on behalf of the sponsors, namely Flow, the Gleaner Company Media Limited, Victoria Mutual Billing Society, Jamaica National Group, the Scotia Jamaica Billing Society, and the Jamaica Broilers Group. I implore you to continue giving of your time, treasure, and talent as you work to build a better Jamaica for our people, both here and abroad. And I want to remind you of what our Governor General always says. There's nothing wrong with Jamaica that can't be fixed with what is right with Jamaica. You, the diaspora, are examples of what is right with Jamaica. Thank you very much.
Mr. Stephen Price, Managing Director of Flow.
Thank you very much, Mr. Price.
On behalf of corporate sponsors.
We're very happy that members of the respective management teams from the corporate sponsors are here today. And if I could indulge you to just stand for a moment to be recognized, all the corporate sponsor reps who are here, just for 10 seconds. So you can be recognized, and then we can give you a nice round of applause.
While the corporate sponsors stand,
because without your deep commitment and financial support,
some of the
GJA would not have survived the challenges
for the award.
Since 1991.
And the first one,
many big ups.
They must be Jamaican
Thank you.
by birth, descent, registration, marriage,
We have now
or
arrived
naturalization.
at the true and exciting reasons for this part of the ceremony this evening. I know family members and friends might be tempted to record events with their cameras and all the devices, but has been happening. We have the official photographers, and rest assured that all the recipients will get many images of their memorable occasion. So we're going to ask you if you're going to if you want to take a photograph, just take it from your seat.
Impact on a
Or from where you're
number of members
just
of the
stand where
Jamaican
you're
community.
supposed to be sitting.
Very true, and it goes on.
The heads of
person
mission
must have
and their
made
respective
his or
hard
her
working
contribution
assistants submitted the
and
required
gained
documents
achievements
for
while
20
acting as a
nominees
private citizen,
to the
so they
G-
can't
to the
they
Governor
can't
General's
have
Forum for
been
Excellence
appointed
Secretariat.
or an elected
Members of the
government
selection
official.
panel made the final
And
selection
of course,
of our
they
6 worthy
should not have
recipients.
received a Jamaican national honor.
So,
nor the Prime
An
Minister's
experienced and
Award
sought
for
after
excellence.
media personality and educator,
Finally,
Mrs. Paula
they
Ann
would have
Porter
had
Jones.
to be nominated by a
She
diaspora
has been a
organization
broadcaster
or a
since she was
Jamaica
17 years
affiliated
old
organization
and has
in the
also-
region
and
of
has also acted
residence.
as master of
Theo,
ceremonies
this
for a
evening's
range of different
awardees
types
have
of
made
foundations
their
and activities.
impact in the United States, the
As an
United
educator,
Kingdom,
she has
and
conducted
Canada.
workshops in
We
voice and
congratulate
speech,
them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
public
And we
speaking,
now
media
join
relations, radio
the stage
broadcasting,
again
television
as they
presentation,
move
other
on
related
into
areas.
the awards proceedings.
Mrs. Porter Jones holds a Bachelor of Arts honors in Communication Studies and a Master of Arts in Teaching from the University of the West Indies Mona campus. In addition to all of these responsibilities, Paula Ann actively pursues interests in volleyball, scuba diving, women's affairs, et al., and makes time to read fiction novels and to ride her motorcycle as often as she can. Ladies and gentlemen, having begged her and she agreed to suspend the motorcycling for about a week, please help me welcome Mrs. Paula Ann Porter Jones, who will prepare our awardees to receive their most deserving emblems of excellence. Mrs. Jones.
Thank you, Major White. Your Excellencies, the Most Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Peter Phillips, Leader of the Opposition, distinguished guests, all, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Members of the Diaspora being presented with the Governor General's Achievement Awards for Excellence, I invite you to join me on stage as introduced by region. From the Diaspora region, Canada, Miss Donika Aria Jones. Bishop Glenford Granville Duffus, who is unavoidably absent. I will now read an abridged version of their citations. Miss Donika Aria Jones. Driven by her passion for education and volunteerism, Donika Aria Jones works selflessly to make a positive impact on the lives of others. Her desire to see people achieve success is the motivating factor behind her altruism. She attained a Bachelor of Arts degree in Translation and Interpretation from the University of Ottawa in 2007, a Bachelor of Science degree in Human Biology and Equity Studies from the University of Toronto in 2011, and a Master of Public Health degree from Queen's University in 2014. From an early age, Ms. Jones began volunteering and has been involved in initiatives to showcase Jamaica. Annually, during Black History Month, she leads community events such as film festivals and demonstrations of Jamaican cuisine. She also volunteers at local music festivals, the Kayuk Society, Ekaluet Soup Kitchen, and the Pilvney Thrift Store in Ekaluet. Additionally, she works with the youth and children's ministries of the Praise Cathedral Worship Center in Mississauga, Ontario, where she tutors young people for junior and teen talent competitions. She is a board member and secretary of the Nunavut Black History Month Society and an executive board member and communications chair of the Jamaican Diaspora Canada Foundation Future Leaders Chapter. A health promotion specialist with the Canadian territory of Nunavut since 2015, her theoretical knowledge and practical skills in public health have enabled her to address health disparities in a holistic way. Ms. Donika Aria Jones. It is with great pride and confidence that members of the Governor General's Program of Excellence Secretariat have selected you as a worthy recipient of the 2017 Governor General's Achievement Award, Diaspora. Bishop Glenford Granville Duffus is unavoidably absent. Bishop Glenford Granville Duffus is a quintessential educator and nation builder who influences young people and adults in Jamaica and Canada. A trained teacher who was born in Jamaica, he gained his teacher training certificate from the Mico College in 1975, matriculated at the University of the West Indies, achieving a bachelor's degree in education in 1984 and a master's degree in education in 1997. Subsequently, he received a Bachelor of Education degree from York University in Canada, a Master of Theological Studies degree from Tyndale University College in 2000, and is pursuing a PhD in education at York University. He leads outreach programs, speaks at religious and academic events, and is Superintendent of Education in the Toronto District School Board in Canada. Since 1996, he serves the Ebenezer Holiness Church in Jamaica, Canada, the United States of America, and Haiti. And from 2016, directs educational initiatives of the Jamaican and Canadian Clergy Alliance. Bishop Duffus says, maturity is achieved through recognition of strength and growth opportunities, even in challenging circumstances, and it is necessary to give the highest level of service to develop others. Bishop Glenford Granville Duffus. It is with pride and confidence that members of the Governor-General's Program for Excellence Secretariat have selected you as a worthy recipient of the 2017 Governor-General's Achievement Award, Diaspora. It gives me great pleasure to invite Her Excellency, Mrs. Janice Miller, Jamaica's High Commissioner to Canada, to join us here. And with even greater pleasure, I invite Your Excellencies, the Governor-General and the Most Honorable Lady Allen, to join us as well. Miss Donika Aria Jones. And Your Excellencies, Sir Patrick and Lady Allen are presenting the emblems for Bishop Glenroy Granville Duffus to Her Excellency, Mrs. Janice Miller, who receives them on Bishop Duffus's behalf. Thank you, Your Excellencies. Thank you, High Commissioner Miller. From the Diaspora region, United Kingdom, Mrs. Tanisha Avagay Westcar. Mrs. Tanisha Avagay Westcar, an avid volunteer, believes that excellence is the ability to be and give your best to create outstanding results and can be practiced by anyone who is dedicated to being at the top of his or her field. She grew up in Kingston, Jamaica, attended Wilmer's High School for Girls, where she gained 6 Caribbean Examination Council passes, including English and Mathematics in 2002. She gained 4 A-level passes at the Newham College of Further Education in the United Kingdom. A believer in continuing education, Mrs. Westcar matriculated to Birkbeck, University of London in October 2016 and is studying global politics and international relations towards an undergraduate degree. A business developer and trainer since October 2016, she was previously a branding consultant and sales and consumer service executive. Mrs. Westcar influences Jamaicans in the UK diaspora to support educational and school refurbishing projects in their homeland. She raised funds for Middle Quarters All-Age School in St. Elizabeth and Padmore Primary School in West Rural St. Andrew with assistance from the Jamaica Education Task Force in the UK. She launched the JA Youth Forum UK in November 2016 at the Houses of Parliament to address issues for disconnected young people. Mrs. Tanisha Avagay Westcar. It is with pride and confidence that members of the Governor-General's Program for Excellence Secretariat have selected you as a worthy recipient of the 2017 Governor-General's Achievement Award, Diaspora. Mr. Vendries Donovan Henry. Mr. Vendries Donovan Henry, former Assistant Clerk of the Courts at the Halfway Tree Magistrates Court in Kingston, Jamaica, is a partner in the law firm Greenland Lawyers LLP in the United Kingdom and provides pro bono services as a community legal advisor. He migrated to the UK and matriculated at Birkbeck College, the University of London, where he gained the LLB with honors and attended the College of Law 2001 to 2002 to acquire the legal practice certificate. In 2007, he attained the Certificate of Accreditation from Cardiff University as part of the requirement to qualify as a duty solicitor. He believes that life is about change and transforms lives, cognizant that the process requires commitment and purpose. Consequently, he joined the Jamaican diaspora movement in the UK and promotes the rights and entitlements of immigrants. Mr. Henry conducts immigration seminars hosted by the Jamaican High Commission in London to educate Caribbean nationals about procedures to comply with UK immigration laws, legalize their status, gain asylum, and acquire work permits. Mr. Vendries Donovan Henry. It is with pride and confidence that members of the Governor-General's Program for Excellence Secretariat have selected you as a worthy recipient of the 2017 Governor-General's Achievement Award, Diaspora. It is my pleasure to invite His Excellency, Mr. Seth George Ramocan, Jamaica's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, to join us on stage. And of course, Their Excellencies, the Governor General and the Most Lady Allen, also join us. Mrs. Tanisha Avagay Westcar. Mr. Vendries Donovan Henry. Thank you, Your Excellencies. Thank you, High Commissioner Ramakan, Mrs. Ramakan. From the Diaspora region, the United States of America, Miss Erin Ann Liu Hing, Miss Joan Othelia Pinnock, Miss Erin Ann Liu Hing. Miss Erin Ann Liu Hing, a future leader in the Jamaican diaspora in the northeast of the United States of America, who received the Jamaica Independence Celebration Foundation Leader Achievement Award in 2015, says, "Public service is about maintaining hope, integrity, accountability, and giving others the opportunity to do what is right." Ms. Liu Hing attended Brandeis University on a Martin Luther King Jr. scholarship, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Health Policy and Legal Studies in 2012, and is pursuing a master's degree in Public Administration at Columbia University. An adult education program developer at Community Impact in New York since 2016, she was data analyst, project manager at New Jersey Homeless Management Information System 2012 to 2016, and promoted health leads in Washington, D.C. in 2011. Her advocacy assisted the New Jersey Homeless Point-in-Time Initiative, Waltham, Massachusetts Tenant Advocacy Clinic, 2010 to 2012, and the Urban League of Washington, District of Columbia, and Long Island, New York, in 2011. Erin started a Service Day initiative for the Martin Luther King and Friends Club at Brandeis University, 2010 to 2012, and urges young Jamaicans to contribute to development in their homeland. Miss Erin Ann Liu Hing, it is with pride and confidence that members of the Governor General's Program for Excellence Secretariat have selected you, a worthy recipient of the 2017 Governor General's Achievement Awards, Diaspora. Miss Joan Othelia Pinnock. Miss Joan Othelia Pinnock, president of the Jamaican Bar Association since 2010, says that humility is one of the greatest traits as leader, and excellence is the only way to achieve your goals without compromising your standards. A 1979 Excelsior High School graduate, Ms. Pinnock migrated to the United States of America and matriculated at the University of Massachusetts, earning a Bachelor of Arts degree with a major in Spanish and a minor in Law and Justice in 1992. She attended the New England Law School 1992 to 1996 and received the Dean's Award for a mentoring program assisting Jamaican and Caribbean nationals. A Northeast Diaspora Advisory Board member, she convened the Jamaica Diaspora Immigration and Deportation Prevention Task Force in November 2016, assisting Jamaicans to resolve immigration issues. She also mounted the Trailblazer Award, saluting some 22 Jamaicans in the diaspora, and the Talawa Awards Gala, recognizing Jamaicans for excellence in sports and politics. Her other awards include the Caribbean Bar Association Award for Community Leadership, the Arthur Macfield Founders Award in Community Service, and the Trailblazer Award. Miss Joan Othelia Pinnock. It is with pride and confidence that members of the Governor General's Program for Excellence Secretariat have selected you as a worthy recipient of the 2017 Governor General's Achievement Award, Diaspora. It is my pleasure to invite on stage Her Excellency Ms. Audrey Marks, Jamaica's Ambassador to the United States of America, And with even greater pleasure, Your Excellencies, Governor General and the Most Honorable Lady Allen to join us as well. Miss Erin Ann Liu Hing. Miss Joan Othelia Pinnock. Thank you, Ambassador Marks. Thank you, Your Excellencies. And Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the presentation of awards. I thank you.
Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for their excellencies, heads of missions, our worthy recipients, and of course, our orator. Thank you so much. May I now call upon Ms. Joan Pinnock to respond on behalf of the awardees.
Your Excellencies, Governor General, and the Most Honorable Lady Allen, the Most Honorable Prime Minister, and the Most Honorable Mrs. Juliet Holness, Dr. the Honorable Peter Phillips, Leader of the Opposition, and Mrs. Phillips, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, heads of missions of Canada, United Kingdom, and the United States, members of the Governor General's Program for Excellence Secretariat, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow recipients, good evening. It is with great humility that I stand here on behalf of my fellow 2017 Governor General awardees from the Jamaica Diaspora to express gratitude and reaffirm our commitment to positively impacting lives through volunteerism. I've once read that volunteers don't get paid, not because they're worthless, but because we're priceless. Therefore, let me from the outset thank our Governor General for recognizing our priceless and valuable contributions to volunteerism. Your Excellency, our induction into this prestigious cadre of GGAA nation builders is a most welcome encouragement that will sweeten future labor. I also expressed our gratitude to the heads of missions, their team members in the 3 major regions for their invaluable contribution to the nomination process, and to the Governor General's Program of Excellence Secretariat for their vote of confidence. I wish to also thank all family members and friends who have come to support us. Many thanks to our fellow Jamaican brothers and sisters who continue to embrace the members of the diaspora as part of the greater Jamaican family. Ladies and gentlemen, the appropriateness of this year's theme, inspiring and energizing communities to serve, cannot be overlooked. It is a patriotic call to action for Jamaicans here and those overseas. As Jamaicans living outside our homeland, we should never forget our roots. Instead, we should all be inspired to give back and serve not only other Jamaicans living in the diaspora, but also our fellow brothers and sisters right here at home. It gives pure joy to serve. I have experienced that satisfaction that comes from giving back, and so have my fellow award recipients. The smile on an orphan's face when you hand her a doll. Read a book to a child, present them with a backpack or a pair of shoes is incomparable. I'm reminded of a quote from our national hero, the Right Excellent Marcus Garvey, who once said, "The ends you serve that are selfish will take you no further than yourself, but the ends you serve that are for all in common will take you into eternity." In that spirit, I truly believe that by serving our country and communities, we will strengthen Jamaica and make it more cohesive. However, it requires the united efforts of me, of you sitting here, and of you watching and listening online. Yes, it requires every one of us to make the black, gold, and green fly proudly as we ensure that by 2030, our Little Rock is the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Therefore, as I close, let me borrow the words of Sir Patrick Allen and challenge each of us to continue playing our part by using what is right with Jamaica to fix what is wrong with Jamaica. Thank you, and may the Lord richly bless you and Jamaica land we love. Thank you.
2017 Governor General's Achievement Awards Diaspora recipient, Ms. Joan Pinnock, responding on behalf of the awardees.
Now, Lorraine, a little bit more information. The recipients of the GGAA are recognized on the same basis, with the provision that their community service must include activities which reflect the I Believe initiative's 3 areas of emphasis.
Once again, this evening's recipients are Ms. Danica Jones from Canada, Bishop Glenford Duffus from Canada, Mrs. Tanisha Westcar, the United Kingdom, Mr. Ventris Henry, United Kingdom, Ms. Erin Luhing from the United States, and we just heard from Ms. Joan Pinnock, also from the United States.
True. The Governor General's Program for Excellence continues to rely on private sector for sponsorship of its annual activities,
conference
and we're going to rejoin the main stage.
The first event has been the Governor General's Award for Excellence, and I want to congratulate all the awardees and to thank the Governor General for recognizing these persons from the diaspora who have achieved excellence and who have actually leveraged and used the system and their education to advance themselves over many years. I want to thank the Prime Minister and the government of Jamaica for hosting this diaspora conference. It is an important part of Jamaica's economic and social framework, and it's an important means by which the community here and abroad, the disconnected Jamaican family, comes together to participate in an event to discuss Jamaica's future, and how we both can grow in that process. I want to thank the Leader of the Opposition, Dr. Phillips, for joining us and for his presentation. And I would also like to recognize and thank all our presenters, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the Minister of Gender Culture, for participating in the opening ceremony as well. I want to thank the Boys 8 group from Jamaica College. They did a fantastic job. That last one, Could This Be Love, is really good. I wish I could sing it. But I'd also like to recognize and thank the Jamaica Military Band, who has done an excellent job as well. I'd like to recognize all those persons who have participated in making this conference possible, but also who made this opening event a success. There are many, many persons who worked in many areas to deliver this conference. It's a complex organization involving many parts. And I just want to single out the leadership of that process. The Ambassador Gilbert Roberts, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Ambassador Sharon Saunders, who also has responsibility for diasporic matters in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and Mr. Lincoln Downer. These are the persons who I have observed have dealt with this matter on a daily basis and have committed themselves while doing other work to make it possible. And I speak on behalf of my own boss, the Minister, in thanking you for the work that you have done. There's an invisible person in the room, an invisible person called Lisa Ogilvie, who is the chief organizer for the conference, the chief projects officer, and I'd like to thank Lisa for the work that she has done so far in getting the conference to the stage of opening. There's much to be done between now and Thursday. There's a Diaspora Advisory Board in the 3 major countries, and I want to thank those members. I'd like to thank the members of the various committees, the sponsors for both the Governor General's program of awards as well as the Diaspora Conference itself. I'd like to thank all of you for attending this opening session and look forward to seeing you at the conference tomorrow. I'm advised that at this moment we have a registration of over 1,200 persons. It therefore means that I have to get more food tomorrow. But food shall be found. I want to thank those who have chosen to come, and it's an important thank you because you pay to come here. You take your earnings and your wealth, and you pay to come to Jamaica, the airfare, the registration for the conference. We do not for any second take it for granted. You had a choice. And by making that financial commitment and physical commitment, time away from work and family, meant that you are truly committed to ensure that Jamaica achieves that partnership for growth that our Prime Minister spoke of earlier, that our leader of the opposition spoke about. And if we could replicate this in our daily life, this is such a wonderful picture of cooperation in one cause. And I believe that you are a great force in bringing it all together. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my job to thank you again for being here and to tell you that you're all invited to recess to the Pegasus Gardens. Out this room to your left, follow the trail, and in that garden we will have a reception, a cocktail reception. Thanks again. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. It's business tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. It's going to be a great conference, as a certain man would say. We're going to make Jamaica great again. Thank you so much.
Mr. Earl Jarrett.
Could we have our awardees up on stage, please? Just with your plaque.
Mr. Earl Jarrett, Chief Executive Officer of Jamaica National Group and Chairman of the Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference, delivering the vote of thanks and closing remarks. It's been a wonderful 2+ hours, Theodore.
It absolutely has, and you can hear the excitement in the background. People are now greeting, meeting, networking. The awardees are on stage for, the photo ops, and everyone seems to be in high spirits.
And just to recap some of the presentations we heard from our Culture Minister, Olivia Grange, who mentioned the power of transnational identification.
Absolutely. Lorraine, when I was listening to that presentation, and she was talking about Miss Lou, and anywhere that you are is Jamaica.
Yes.
I remember this little story. I took a trip to China recently, and when we were there were many nationals there from Uganda and all over the world, right? But we Jamaicans, there are 3 of us, we had our flags.
Yes.
And everybody knew what the Jamaican flag was.
Without you telling them?
Without us telling them.
Awesome.
Everyone wanted one. And during the closing ceremony of the event, the presenter was there with the Jamaican flag in her top pocket for everyone to see. Jamaica was well recognized and well loved.
Jamaica to the world.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, and The Prime Minister also delivered the keynote address where he remarked that the government recognizes that the diaspora members are some of our most important assets, and he pledged that the government will continue to facilitate their involvement in all facets of Jamaica.
Especially in taking back Jamaica's future from criminal elements, I apologize, to make Jamaica once again the place of choice to live, work, raise children, and do business.
Could we have our corporate sponsor reps for the GGA stand by, please? Corporate sponsor reps and the heads of mission.
Okay. Mr. Pete from the United Kingdom. Where do you want Mr. Pete? You want him to sit with me? Yes, sit with you. Okay, Mr. Pete. Mr. Pete. I just have your name. Sure, I'm ready. So joining me right now is Mr. Nathaniel Pete, a Jamaican living in the United Kingdom. Mr. Pete, you founded the non-profit organization, The Safety Box, and we're just going to ask you to speak a little bit about your achievements in terms of being a Jamaican in the diaspora. But before that, is this your first conference?
No, this is not my first conference. I've been to probably 4 conferences. In fact, the first conference I went to was the Jamaica Diaspora Future Leaders Conference in 2009, whereby we had a number of Jamaican young people, future leaders from the diaspora regions, which took part in that initial Future Leaders Conference. And then from there, I've been involved proactively in the biennial conferences, both as a Future Leader Advisory Board member and quite proactive within the Jamaican diaspora with Jamaicans Inspired UK.
All right, so tell us about the Safety Box. What is it?
Well, the Safety Box was born out of the great need to proactively address all the growing concerns of antisocial behavior, violence, low self-esteem in young people within the United Kingdom. A number of young people were involved in gangs and crime and violence. And what we did is we introduced an alternative curriculum that would assist them to elevate away from crime and violence, and gave them practical solutions to dealing with conflict, real conflict, whereby they were picking up knives. What we did is we removed the knives from their hands, teaching them defensive tactics against the knives, and empowering them, thus enabling them to put down the weapons as a means of defense, and encouraging them through personal development and different types of education, such as STEM curriculum, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, in a way to engage them in science and mathematics. And we've had a measured impact across the United Kingdom of 8,500 young people.
Wow.
We've done work in prisons. In fact, one of the most violent new prisons in the country, Cookham Wood Prison. We achieved outstanding results whereby we had a reduction in violence by 94.6% in 1 year using the methodology of 5-pillar program, looking at conflict resolution and empowerment and personal development.
Thank you. The Safety Box sounds like an amazing initiative. How long has it been going on?
Been going on for about 10 years now. We've won multiple awards, and we've been very proactive in terms of dealing with youth crime and violence within the United Kingdom.
Congratulations. And just before you go, just tell us, what are your expectations for this, the Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference?
Well, I'm hoping that from this conference we're going to gauge relationships internationally, whereby Jamaicans overseas can look at investments within Jamaica. In addition to that, trade opportunities whereby there are companies within Jamaica that want to export into diaspora regions, whereby we can get that collaboration established, which will then help to boost the economy of Jamaica, promote brand Jamaica in the diaspora regions, and help to change a negative perception that is held in the diaspora regions that we are just into crime and violence, or we're into music, or we're into drugs. We're changing that perception that is in the diaspora by encouraging business relationships. I'm hoping that we can get some tangible outcomes for education. I'm hoping that we can get some good dialogue around, and not just dialogue, but steps, action points, whereby we can look at youth empowerment, entrepreneurship, building sustainability, and looking at programs that will help impoverished communities here in Jamaica to rise.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nathaniel Pete, a delegate to the Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference from the United Kingdom. All the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
going to be joined by another delegate who will speak to us about his expectations for the Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference. Mr. Wayne Golding, welcome.
Thank you very much.
This is, what number is this in terms of your conferences that you've been attending, diaspora conferences?
This is actually my 6th conference here in Jamaica, and I had the pleasure of hosting one myself in our region last June. So
6 out of 7, that's impressive.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. And we really look forward to it because it's a way to bring together Jamaicans from all over the world, all over the regions, and it's a great incubator of ideas where we can actually facilitate the transfer of knowledge and skills between each other to help our country and help us as Jamaicans grow all over the world.
First of all, congratulations on being elected the new Jamaica Diaspora Advisory Board representative for Southern USA.
Thank you very
Well
much. This is actually my 2nd go-round. We had a great election, great participation from the folks across our region. We saw a 100% increase in participation in the elections. Glad to say we got 87% of the votes, but it reflects that the people in the region are really looking forward to continuing to build the capacity of the diaspora. And we all work together regardless of who ran in the election. It's a selection process, so we all understand that all our skills and talents are needed at the table.
Can you say how many delegates are here for this year's conference from Southern USA?
We estimate at least 150 so far. It's been challenging doing the estimate because we didn't have the actual registration figures. So we've been able to talk to people across the 13 states, and from that we got at least 150 committed members. But we've seen people turning up and registering on the day of the conference, which we're happy about. So we expect even more than that at the final.
That's impressive. We heard it was 1,200 participants registered so far.
We were so happy to hear that.
And counting. Now tell me, what are your expectations for this year's conference?
Well, the expectation is really to provide a further pathway for Jamaicans who are outside its borders to understand more of what is happening on the ground in Jamaica, and also get us further involved in policy making in Jamaica. And I can tell you that both governments, the past government and the current government, has been reaching out to the diasporans to participate beyond the level of remittances or sending barrels back home. They're looking to us as professionals, as people with skills and talents who know best practices to come and partner in Jamaica. So we expect this conference will help to facilitate that as we move forward and take it to a much higher level. And we really appreciate the welcome that we're feeling in Jamaica, because in years gone past, a lot of people have said, well, it's like trying to kick down the door of the bank to deposit money. But I can tell you, we are feeling the love, and we really are encouraged that this conference will put a topper on everything else that has been done throughout the years, because it's not just a conference. Because I don't see the conference as a silver bullet to solve all problems. But we must come together, we must talk to each other, especially since we're so scattered across the world. It's a chance to come home and meet people who are as far away as Australia, Japan.
What are the states covered in the Southern USA? For those who are watching.
13 states, and I'll try to tell you, starting from North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Missouri, Tennessee, Arizona, New Mexico, Mississippi. So we are varied and spread across.
We hope those who are watching the stream will want to join, having seen
absolutely. And especially out in New Mexico, which is really far out there, we're finding Jamaicans, and not only Jamaicans living there, but also who are a central part of what's happening in their own community. And that is what we hope for our entire diaspora, that people will realize that we're not only looking to Jamaica, but within the communities we live in the diaspora, we have to get involved on the level where we can affect policy and changes that affect us as Jamaicans, and in turn, we can bring that to bear to even assist Jamaica.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wayne Golding, a delegate from the United States of America.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
So thank you for joining our live stream of the Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference. That's the opening ceremony as well as the award presentation ceremony for the Governor General's Achievement Awards Diaspora.
And what a wonderful award ceremony
It's
it
been
was.
amazing.
We could feel the palpable pride. But the events do not end here. They are going to a
Yeah,
little
this is
recession.
just the beginning.
Right. We have the recession in the Pegasus Gardens right now. But tomorrow morning, we join the session at the Jamaica Conference Center in downtown Kingston. Now, the conference will feature plenary sessions on a range of strategic issues and a global Young Leaders of Jamaica Forum, which the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade mentioned, an Economic Growth Council, special interest group meetings, and innovative marketplace. Express services offered by 11 key government agencies in the Government at Your Service and the Diaspora Day of Service, all overlaid with the best of Jamaica's culture.
So it's a jam-packed 3 days, and Theodore and I will be there bringing you all the events live. So thank you so much for joining us for the opening ceremony of the Jamaica 55 Diaspora Conference, as well as the presentation ceremony for the Governor General's Achievement Awards. I'm Lorraine Mendez.
And I'm Theodore Henry. Good evening.
Thank you very much.